All right, we're going to be talking a little bit about polynomials. And polynomials are, and I will also, aside from just sort of our basics of polynomials, we'll also go over a little bit with like addition and subtraction of polynomials. So the first thing that we should talk about is what is a polynomial? And simply put, a polynomial is an expression adding two or more monomials. And just to be extra clear, it's going to be probably different types of monomials. Now, there's a couple different ways of doing this. We should probably talk about, there's multiple different types of polynomials. We'll usually say a monomial is, of course, just one term. So monomial is one term, so this is going to be something like 3x squared. A binomial, this is going to be two terms. So this is going to be 3x squared plus 5x. Trinomial, three terms. So I could have 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. Now, technically, we usually just say polynomial. It's kind of a catch-all, but we usually also say just say polynomial for anything longer. So I could have, say 3x squared plus 5x minus 8 plus 7y. Who knows? I could technically call this a quadrinomial, but we don't bother. All of, binomials, trinomials, all of these are polynomials, but not all polynomials are, say, binomials. Just the same way as I could say that, all bats are mammals, but all mammals are not bats. Now, the other thing that we're going to talk about with this is we want to talk about leading coefficient and degree. So we talk about degree and leading coefficient. And if I were to arrange any polynomial in, what you're going to do is you're going to arrange your polynomial in decreasing order of power. So once you've done that, your degree is that highest power. And that leading coefficient is, of course, the coefficient of that term. So say I've got, I don't know, 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. This is in decreasing order of power. Here, this term has the highest power. So I'd say that this is a second degree term. It's second degree. It's got a leading coefficient of 3. I'm going to abbreviate that. And I've got 3 terms here, so this is a trinomial. Alrighty. So this just gives us a little bit of this hopefully will give us some common language when we're dealing with this. How many terms determines if it's like a monomial, binomial, trinomial, something like that. The degree is always that term with the highest power. Because when we start dealing with, if we start to do, plug in things, we're soon going to discover that this term with the highest power on it, this really, really dominates the calculations. Things really kind of lean into that higher power term. So let's just, doing a couple quick examples of this, I could say we've got, say I've got like 5a to the 4th plus 18. Oh, this is a fourth. I look at that and I say, oh, got two terms. This right here is my highest power term. So this is a 4th degree binomial. That's a binomial because we got two terms here with a leading coefficient of 5. I could do another one. I could say, oh, we could do, I'm going to be a little bit sneaky here. Let's say I've got 5x minus x squared plus 7. Well, here I need to rearrange these terms. So it's because it's not in highest power first. I'm going to put this highest power up first. This is going to be negative x squared plus my 5x plus my 7. So I'm just taking this first term and I leave that sign with it. So this is a second degree trinomial. And even though it doesn't state one explicitly, we can think of there being a 1 right here with a leading coefficient of -1. So that's how we break these things down. Now, the next thing to do with these is we should talk about how to add or subtract these. And whenever you're adding or subtracting polynomials, just pay attention. You need to, once again, only add together your like terms. So what I will usually tell folks is you're going to distribute signs if necessary. Or sometimes I'll just say resolve your signs. And then you're going to add or subtract your like terms. And there's a couple different ways we can do this, but this is our general method. So say we've got something like, like x squared plus 3x plus 2x and then plus 6. Oh, here, I could say this is one binomial plus another binomial. Well, I've only got two like terms here, so this would just be x squared plus, I'm going to put together my like terms, 5x plus 6. Frequently, you'll see things that look more like this. I'll say I've got, y squared minus 6x minus 7, and I could add y squared plus 5x plus 6. Now, if we're doing this, if I had to, if this were a negative, I would change all of the signs in here. Otherwise, none of the signs are going to change. If I'm just adding, none of the signs of these terms change. So this would just be y squared minus 6x minus 7 plus y squared plus 5x plus 6. Oops. Oh yeah, that's fine. I've got x's and y's. I usually want to put them all in one variable, but never mind. This is yeah, this still works. What I'll do here is, if you need to, if necessary, you can reorder. So it's not a necessary step, but we could, in fact, think of this as, y squared plus y squared. Here's my y squared terms. Then I've got my minus 6x plus 5x. There's my x terms here. And then I'll take a look at my constant terms here. I've got minus 7 plus 6. And if I do that, well, y squared plus y squared is 2y squared. Notice that our exponents stay the same. And our exponents are always going to stay the same unless we're multiplying. So yeah, just like that, that works. Where things get interesting are when we have subtraction. So when I subtract, say I've got m squared minus 5m plus 8. And then I'm going to subtract 4m squared minus 5m plus 6. When we subtract this, remember, we are subtracting this entire polynomial. So I am going to change all three of these signs. So these don't change. I'll just have that m squared minus 5m plus 8. But this is going to be minus 4m squared. Minus a minus is plus 5m. And minus a plus is minus 6. So notice that when I'm subtracting this, all three of these signs changed. It was positive, negative, positive. Now it's negative, positive, negative. Now, we could reorder this, or what I like to do is as you get more adept at it, you start to be able to pick out your like terms. So m squared minus 4m squared is going to be minus 3m squared. Negative 5m plus 5m is 0. So these two terms end up canceling each other out completely. And then 8 minus 6 is just a positive 2. And again, if you need to reorder them, if you need to regroup these to help you out, then by all means do so. I'm not going to penalize anybody for taking an extra step if it helps you get your right answers. And once again, there's those. This is going to be plus that, and then plus that. All right. If you have any questions, let me know, and otherwise I will see you in the next video.